So, I thought I'd do a little recipe of the ricetta di nonna Bresciani, old family friends from Melbourne. If they're still alive, I don't know. Maybe not. They'd be very old now, in their 90s, if they were still alive. Dan and Lino. But I got the recipe from their grandmother who made it. Huge effort, made this pasta from scratch for us. I'll never forget that, and that was a great dinner. She was a great pianist, had a Steinway grand in her living room. So, anyway, friends of my old man who passed away a couple of years ago. So, if I plop you on the tripod, I can do that. A little worried my buddies has kind of gone missing in action from Belarus. We only talk about food, so I don't know what the problem could be, but he's just off the chat. So, a bit dangerous talking to Westerners, corrupt Westerners. I'll put the light on. We only talk about food and hi-fi anyway, so I don't see what it could be, but you never know. Relations are not so good between our countries right now, obviously. So I should have showed you earlier, but that's in the food processor. About 2.5 onions, big onions, about 5 sticks of celery or 4 sticks of celery, and then just a little bit of carrot because that's all I had left. I didn't buy any more. But we're going to throw that in the pot, and that's the mille pois, or there's another name for it in Italian. I've forgotten what it's called. Or the something, can't remember, but extra flavor for the ragu di nonna. So that's done. Crack open another one. I hope I don't have to go to the shops. Oh, you know what I forgot garlic. Shit. Alright, that's important. So I'm gonna have to throw some garlic in there. Now the disadvantage of using a food processor, it gets very wet because it kind of mashes it a little bit. Plenty of olive oil there. Gonna be generous. That'll do. Alright, we need garlic obviously. I'm going to go like 5 or 6 cloves. I think at least. And I've got elephant garlic, so I don't have to peel the damn cloves one by one. I don't know, make it. That one's kaput. I'll make it 6. I'm doing a big batch too, lasagnas, so. I don't have the recipe is disappeared, I don't know where it is. It's handwritten by the nonna, or maybe by Lino, on a couple of sheets of paper in great detail. That's a shame, that was a really good recipe, but make one lasagna, it's basically the same. And this cost all of $145 US, just the ingredients, because the damn meat and the mozzarella have 400% import duty. So the mozzarella and the grana padano is $60 just for the cheese. So that's almost half the cost of the damn lasagna. And the meat was expensive, of course, because this is Norway and meat is just crazy expensive because we have, like I said, 400% import duty on meat and dairy. And then all the rest cost as well. The lasagna was not that bad. And I only have this, I'll show you. I only have ready-made barilla. They didn't have any fresh. I do have a pasta machine. I have made lasagna and pasta from scratch before, but I'm too lazy today. It adds nearly 2 hours. So the pasta has to rest before you can put it through the machine, and then you have to put it through the machine, then you have to cook it and refresh it. It is better though. It's a much better pasta if you do it that way. So maybe I should have done that. Whoops, that's a bit. Uh-oh. What's this moldy garlic here? It's not good. But this is the only thing I'm cheating on is the lasagnas. I don't like these dried lasagna plates very much, but they'll have to do the trick. And obviously I'm not eating this all by myself, I'm only one person here. I'm just practicing because I might invite the neighbors and I might try and do this recipe. Maybe not for 2 lasagnas, but for 1. But last time I made lasagna it was too wet and too sloppy. And that was a bit of a disaster, and I invited guests. And I'm just kind of disintegrated, self-destructed all over the place. So this time I want to try and get it right. So it's not way too wet and sloppy. So I'll throw those in. So practice makes perfect. Of course I only do this once every other year. And I'm supposed to be on a fish diet and salad diet. I've been eating fish every day for the last week. So I'm really sick of fish. Alright, okay. This old food processor is great. I've had it, family's had it for like 20 years and still works fine. So just put that on full blast. Wait till that heats up and then turn you off for a bit. By the way, this is the Fujifilm X-T5. So I'm just testing that out for a bit. I like this little camera. I do have a much better, more expensive camera, but I'm trying this out. And this is HLG profile. So try and upload successfully. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that again. I can't get the settings right on DaVinci Resolve, but it should be in HDR, right? So that's the whole point of filming in HLG. And it looks much better in HDR on, say, a good TV like mine. Alright, so I threw that in. It was smoking hot. Let it go a little bit too long without having a you-know-what cigarette. So I don't want to burn this. Unlikely. There's a lot of moisture. Just let this sweat. It's quite fine. Give that a rinse. Still have to add a lot of parmesan there. Pardon my trusty wooden spoon. Where is it? Turn the heat down a bit so it doesn't burn. To about 5.5. And pop the cover on and just let that sweat. I've got shit everywhere now. And then the Nonna way of doing it, grandmother way, is you just add the meat. After that's sweated and it's translucent, you just add the meat straight in, and you're not browning it really, you're just boiling it more or less until it's cooked through, and then the moisture's evaporated. And I don't have any wine, but you would add a glass of white wine or a glass of red wine, depending on what you feel like, and then the tomatoes. And I will add, I think, 4 or 5, they're pretty big, so I don't need that many. 4 or 5 bay leaves. So I'm making quite a lot here. Oh, that's too many. Maybe, well, that's like 5, I don't know, 5 bay leaves. I like bay leaf. And then have fresh rosemary. So I can add that now or later, it doesn't really matter. Good. Whack of that. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's probably going to die on me. But so turn that down to about 4 out of 10. Throw in the rosemary. Just let that chill. Alright, I can turn you off and have a slug of beer. I have to go ease on beer. I'm on these pills for my damn blood pressure, so ration. Alright, so just give that a stir. Keep an eye on it. Don't want to burn it. It's not going to burn. It's sweating nicely now. That's a lot of bay leaves. Maybe that's too much. I think it's fine. I'm adding a kilo of meat, a kilo and a half of meat, so it's getting translucent. Let it cook out there a bit. I'll show you what it looks like. So obviously the food processor chops it up quite finely. That is an authentic Nonna way of doing it, apparently. So anyway, alright, let that keep cooking for about another 3 or 4 minutes. So it seems to be exposed properly. Maybe it's quite straight. Yeah. So I think that's sweated enough. Sweating is the correct term. Some pork meat. It's cheaper than beef by a lot. Pork is still not too expensive in Norway. It's not cheap, but it's not crazy. And we have 400 grams of very expensive Norwegian ground beef. Carbonade means it's for meat patties, so there's not that much fat. It's only 5% fat. Don't want that much fat in the sauce. So that's 400 grams. I'm doing a big batch now, remember, so my recycled plastic, of course, just a little paper thing on the bottom. And this was quite expensive. This was 13 euros. 140 kroner, 14 bucks US, 12 euros or something for some 600 grams of more ground beef, lean, 5%. No salt and water, so they're not increasing the weight by injecting water, which is the advantage of carbonade. If you get regular ground beef, they inject salt and water and just to up the weight, so you're not getting what you pay for. So I just got to rinse these in the plastic recycling. Now, alright, that's it. So as you can see, I'm obviously crowding the pan. The Nonna way, you're not really browning the meat, you're just boiling it anyway. So we turn the heat right up to 10. And then I will have to, at some point, add some salt and pepper. Just give it a mix, and we're just boiling the shit out of this basically until it's grey. I'm gonna do a proper stir so the veggies on the bottom don't burn when I turn this up. I'll pop on the lid and you'll see it will release a lot of liquid, very likely, but there's not veggies in there that should give some taste. So if I put on the lid, it's going to steam basically. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll turn the heat down maybe to 7. I don't want to burn it. That's pretty full. So that's going to be that whole pot full of sauce of ragu. Ragu di nonna. Ragu di nonna. Nonna Bresciani. And that should be enough for 2 lasagna. I hope. I don't have a bigger pot. I do down in the uterbord in the not the garage but the where I store my skis. A big pot for water and for an even bigger pot for making beer. But I don't think I need to dig those out. Those won't even fit on the stove anyway, so I should probably get a bigger pot than this stuff. So no, not really anywhere to keep it though. So that's the thing. I'm going to turn you off, go for a smoke clean, put away, clean up, and then we'll see. And that can just slowly cook for an hour at least, an hour and a half, until it's all the flavors have melded, as they say. Don't have to make my white sauce, my bechamel, bacchiamella. Alright, let's have a look. Don't want to burn it. And I said this is what I mean by you're basically boiling it. So just scrape the bottom, it's starting to stick a little on the bottom. But you're basically boiling it, and then you just gotta, like, don't want to burn the bottom. It's not good. Liquid to loosen up the brown bits, I think. I might turn the heat down a bit to 6. I don't think it's not gonna burn straight away, but until it's cooked through before I add the tomato, that's gonna be a lot of ragu. It smells good. I should probably add some salt and pepper at some point. It smells very good. It's a combination of pork and beef that makes it extra rich. So then I have, let's see what we got. I do have some well done. I'll add that now. I should have had, no I did. Salt and pepper. I'll be pretty generous with the salt, but I don't want it too salty. You can always add a little more afterwards. That's messing them out of the shit. Alright, okay. Goes back. I have to fill my peppercorn grinder, I think. Peppercorn. Mixed pepper thing up there, but I kind of want black pepper. So as far as how much salt, 2 good pinches. I think that's enough. You can always add more. If it's too salty, that's fucked. I'm gonna fuck 2 lasagnas. Excuse my French. That'll drag out, pull some more moisture out of the meat. This really has to be cooked through completely. It's getting there. So of course you could brown it separately and really get some caramelization happening. But I'm following like a grandmother who's 85 years old or something and didn't do that. So it's the Nonna way. Nonna Bresciani way. I don't know how she did it. I didn't see, but it was a really good lasagna. So I have to refill my pepper grinder. Buy at the invandrarbutik. Huge thing, black pepper. Costs about 1/10 what it costs if I buy it at a Norwegian store. So Norwegian prices are crazy, as you've probably already figured out. Really crazy. So now let's go. Oops, not quite. Try and put some back. I don't know if I can do that. No, fuck it. not gonna happen. Alright. My spice thing, my IKEA cheap cart, absolutely chockers with spices and herbs and shit. Spices. Absolutely rammed. Can't get anything in there more. It's so full. And of noodles and curry paste and God knows what else. Alright. We'll give that a stir, I think. Really good amount of black pepper in here, that's for sure. That'll do. Okay, of course I have this wanky thing here, useless, and I got it as a gift. And then I saw it. I won't say you bought that, it was family. But then I saw it at like 7-Eleven, so I think it was a last minute gift they got for me. On the spur of the moment. To break up the clumps of meat a little bit. And then we can start adding the tomatoes, as Guido would say. Guido's fishing adventures. Add the tomatoes, and I can turn that down and just let it dry out a bit. And then I got just the cheapest, the first price. There. Got some slightly more expensive, still cheap. Tomatoes from Greece, so these are not great. I should have maybe bought passata from Italy, but too expensive. These are like a quarter of the price. Good enough. And then add some tomato paste, and then I found the tomato sauce from Mutti. Just add it all in, see until it's full, until it's to the top. I may have some left over, I don't know, and I think all of the tomato paste is going in. I want it to be thick, a thick sauce, thick ragu, because I don't want my lasagna to be too sloppy, too wet. And it's going to be wet anyway, because the mozzarella balls give off a lot of liquid when they're cooking, a lot of water. So I have not only mozzarella balls, fresh mozzarella. It's not mozzarella di bufalo, but it's whatever, fresh mozzarella from Italy. But I've also got some cheap Apertina industrial mozzarella crap, some grated shit, just because it's drier to dry out the lasagna. But it's probably going to be pretty wet regardless. So I'm turning this down to 3, and then I'm going to let it cook down a bit, evaporate the liquid. And then normally you'd add some white wine or red wine, up to you. White wine would be traditional. And then even maybe a splash of milk, to be honest. If you want it to be really rich, that's what you would do in bolognese. Ragu bolognese, you do this, same process. Then you add your wine, let it cook down. But then you add tomato paste, tablespoon, only one thing of tomatoes, and then milk, and it's like a beef sauce and beef stock. And it's not a tomatoey sauce, ragu bolognese, it's like a beefy stock. But we're not making that, we're making a tomato one. So, like the normal American ragu. This is why this is a ragu and not a bolognese. But bolognese does not have a lot of tomato. That's all wrong. So whoever told you, whoever taught people that's wrong. Anyway. Alright, stop you for a bit. For some reason the ISO dial is not working too well on this thing. Oh, there it goes. That's working. Alright, it's already on 5,000 something ISO or something. What is it? No, not 1,000. 900 ISO or 850 or whatever it is. So time to add the tomato paste first and then cook that in. I'm just going to mold these, so I may as well use the whole thing up. Don't use it up, it's just going to go moldy, so I'll just plop the whole thing in there. And then cook that down a bit to get rid of some of the pincé. It's not really going to be pincéed, but we try anyway. So I remember some shit from my chefing days. Not much, but I remember a little bit. So that's it goes in recycling. Cook that down a bit. Another few minutes. This is a time-consuming process now. This is a labor of love. Truly. So let that cook down a bit. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to fit 9 of these in there, but to the top. And then cook it right down till it's quite thick. Because if it's too wet, then the lasagna will be wet, which I don't want. It smells good. I'm not sure that tomato paste was so good. I should have used Italian tomato paste, but whatever. Italian tomatoes are better. And that's just how it is. These are all from Greece, these ones, so probably they're cheap, they're probably very acid, which is the downside of using cheap tomatoes. But anyway, and then the question is, do I have a pot big enough for the bechamel, the bacchiamella? What happened there? Huh? The fan just stopped. Oh, there it goes. Alright. New fan. That's expensive. 50,000 kroners or something. Last one wasn't working, the fire alarm would go all the time, so anyway, I can turn you off now. And that's just gonna say for about 5 minutes. I can turn the heat up a bit. I think I can turn it up to 6. Yeah. Alright. Well, just to give you an idea how it looks. I'll do this, whoops, exposure. That's the focus, I don't want that. Zoom. That's how it looks inside. Alright. Zoom out. And then, oops. Okay, it's a third of this. Alright, so we're not quite horizontal there yet. Anyway, now we go. So time to add all the. I'm probably blocking, but these guys such a pain in the butt, but they're cheap. They're only 7 kroners each. That's still $1 Australian each. You can work it out. Oops. And they don't weigh as much as glass jars, and I can just throw them out instead of recycling the glass jars. I'm going to fill it to the very top. I need all the sauce I can get. And these ones made in Italy. Made in Greece. I think they're the same as the first price ones, just different label and more expensive. A little darker, actually. Huh. Who knows? No idea. So I may actually use them all up. might actually use them all up. No, I don't know, maybe. It would have been good to have some wine in there, but I don't think you're going to notice the difference. Sure, it's white wine for this recipe, but don't remember. I have to go out to the bin. Wow, this is going to be a lot of freaking ragu, man. So I'll get one more in there, and then there's one more extra, I guess. Turn that up on full blast, get the heat going. And that has to cook and reduce. I think that's enough. I think we have one extra. It's alright. Cook and reduce for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Bolognese has to go for almost 2 hours. That we're not making bolognese. Just a ragu. Looks good though. Okay, I think that's, whoops, making a mess. Oh dear. Good enough. Alright. Oh, shit. Anyway, you didn't see that. 2-second rule. So let that come to the boil and then turn it down. And then I've got to get a bigger bin bag, I think. I don't know how I'm going to fit a little trash can. Whatever happens now, it's boiling over and making a mess. Garlic away. Bay leaves away. Then I do have enough space on the stove to make my bechamel, but there's no rush. I'm going to chill for a bit first. I'll leave that there for now. Still have to chop the mozzarella. Get it with a spoon. Alle dager. Alle dager, mann. Er det nok saus, eller? Hva tror du, Bjørn? Skal de gå nå? So that's gonna coming to the boil. Keep a bit of an eye on that. And a bit of a mess. And then that should be enough ragu for 2 lasagna, I hope. I don't think so. It's going to reduce by quite a bit down to there maybe, or even there. So that's going to take a while to reduce. I'm going to come to a proper boil first, and then we'll see. It smells alright. That smells really good. I think the mille pois, or the sofrito probably helps the flavor. No, I didn't really have enough carrots. Because rosemary I like in ragu, not oregano or that basil or that bullshit. It has to be rosemary and bay leaves and salt and pepper. Simple. Semplice. Allora, ecco il ragù. I don't know. Italian's very rusty. La ragù, il ragù. I don't know. Never mind. Someone correct me. Ha! Ragù di nonna. Alright, so this has been going for about 15 minutes. I'm going to put it for another, whatever, 16 minutes there. Start. So, I'm worried about burning the bottom. I've done that in a restaurant for a wedding. I burned the shit out of a huge pot of tomato sauce. It was a disaster. I'm traumatized by that for life. I ruined their wedding. And we kind of fixed it, but it was pretty bad. It was a giant pot, of course it's stuck on the bottom. So I have some chefing traumas to work through. Ha, for sure. So don't do that. So always give it a stir now and then, even if it's just tomatoes. Doesn't matter. And give it a stir on the bottom once in a while. So I think that's going to be alright for the next 15 minutes. But anyway, not going to burn that. Otherwise, that would be totally fucked. Yeah, don't go there. I'm watching Guido's Fishing Adventures. He's really good. He's an Aussie guy from WA or somewhere. But he's kind of hard to understand for you Yanks, but I subscribe to his channel. He's great. Check him out. He's really good. And a really good fisherman too. He almost exclusively uses soft plastics, which I don't catch shit on, but he catches lots of fish. And I think there's just more fish out there in WA than in New South Wales where we go. So I don't know. Or he's just better. He's a much worse fly fisherman than me, though. That's one thing. Nope, so I'm still 2/3 of the stock underexposed, but that's been going 10 minutes. And as you can see, it's got quite a ways to go, so that's got to bubble away for, well, at least an hour, I think. Very likely. That's very soupy. Now, can't use that in lasagna. It's gotta evaporate a lot of the water there, the liquid. Anyway, that's alright. I've got time. I've got all day. It's only, what time is it? 3:30. Don't even have to eat this tonight. I can have fish burger tonight and make this tomorrow. Just have it all ready to go. Anyway. Well, it's been going for over half an hour now, more like 45 minutes, but it's still very wet, as you can see, although, whoops, careful, less so if I give it a stir, but it's got a long way to go, at least another half hour, another hour, I think. This is still too wet. And then I have to make the bacamela and grate all my two grana padano. I'll do that in the machine. I'm not doing that by hand. It's getting there. It's better, but it's still too wet for me, I think. And then I'm just gonna dig out all the bay leaves and the rosemary. I might actually just chuck some more rosemary in there because I like it. And this is fresh, so it's not as strong as the dried shit. I don't think that's going to hurt too much. In we go. Good strong rosemary taste, and then that's just going to go in the bin basically, so not much left of that. So what have I got set up for another 15 minutes? Start that, another 16 minutes. And then I'm watching Guido's Fishing Adventures, so I might show you a bit of that. And how I chill when it's winter in Badgan. Making lasagna and watching fishing videos from Australia. Not bad. So that's my guitar setup. Well, I got 2 amps. I got a little practice amp, then I got the Vibroverb. And I have a few beers down now on my fantastic LG TV. Then I watch this guy. He's really good.
And then the swallowtail.
He always makes the same thing though. He always makes like a fish wrap, a salad. But he's pretty good, and he always camps out. He's also almost always alone.
Delicious as well.
I don't know about his family, how they have it,
Really
but
daylight today.
here we go, the famous fish wrap with QP mayo. It's on every every dinner.
I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Successful day one. First half of the day, caught nothing good. Saw a couple of good groper. The second half of the day, I cleaned up. Well, pretty close to cleaned up anyway. Very good amount of fish. More than enough for dinner and some to take home.
No, he's good. He's really good. So, alright, I'm going to watch and chill with my beer and do this. There's a jet boy like me. You don't need liquid fuel stoves in Australia, it doesn't get cold enough. So I'll pause this for a sec. And then you can see he has a drone. So he takes his filming pretty seriously. He does this once a week almost. He puts out a video every week, which is quite something. So this is more or less, must be his full-time job, almost. I don't know, maybe he has a regular job, I don't know. A tradie or something. But he's good. So check out Guido's Fishing Adventures. He's really good. And that's what I used to do, the rock fishing all the time. Now I mostly beach fish from a beach house in Luxury. But I don't know if this is, I can't do the focus, but now I beach fish with my bro in Luxury and beach fishing. But I used to do a lot of rock fishing in Sydney, so this brings back memories of all kinds of dodgy rock fishing spots. Not as dodgy as he goes down like a cliff, but they're pretty dodgy. So I'm gonna chill here for a bit, and then I'll have to put the bechamel on. Alright, so it's still very soupy. If we stir it, it's not, but it has to still cook down quite a bit, a lot. So it's been going for about an hour now, so another half hour, 45 minutes, I think. Still watching Guido. It's looking good though. Smells good. And the addition of the pork really helps. Those tomatoes were in the boxes. The canned tomatoes were not so good though. They're a bit acidic and they don't have much flavor. But whatever. And that's too bad. I should have maybe spent money on real Italian tomatoes. But what you gonna do? Anyway, Greek tomatoes, Italian tomatoes, who knows? Well, it's been cooking for like an hour now. Over an hour. I'll just focus it. But still needs longer, it's still a bit soupy. So that's, as you can see, it's already reduced by about an inch or something from the top of the pot when it was earlier. I'm going to put the thing on, timer on for another 15 minutes, and then keep watching Guido's Fishing Adventures, and then we'll see. And then I have to make the bechamel. But I'm not sure I'm making the lasagna tonight. I'll make everything ready. The ragu, the bechamel, I'll grate the parmesan. I may not chop up the mozzarella yet, but and then just have a fish burger tonight. So we'll see. But at least it's done then. So unfortunately it's not going to be freezing, otherwise I could all just put this in takeaways and freeze it down. But it's not going to be freezing the next few days, it's going to be above zero. So then I can't keep it quite as long. So all this stuff has to go in the freezer at some point. But anyway, alright. So, oops. Some problems, can't focus. So, it is definitely still too soupy yet. Well, if we stir it, it's thicker. But there's too much liquid. So I'm definitely going to make it thicker than this. Proper thick ragu. So the lasagna doesn't get too sloppy. And it's too sloppy. Still so far too wet. And I haven't tested it yet, but so there we go. I'll put it on for another 16 minutes and then we check. I'll just give it a stir on the bottom before, just make sure I don't burn the bottom. That'd be very bad. Don't burn the bottom. Alright. And then back to Guido's fishing adventures. Well, we're about an hour and a half into the cook and the ragu is still a little bit sloppy. So you leave it, maybe turn it down even more. But leave it for another 15 minutes and then we have to check. But there's still a bit too much liquid. It's still too loose for my liking. It's getting there though. This is a lot of ragu. I mean, this is huge amounts, but it's too sloppy still for lasagna. It has to be a bit thicker, I think. So I've got the timer on, so we'll see. And then I'm still not out of beer. Still have 2 left. And I have to be careful because I'm on these damn pills, but we'll see. And then I have to make the bacchiamella. I have enough milk. I may not have enough flour. I have enough butter. I have nutmeg. I got tons of cheese, but I may not be making this lasagna tonight. I may just make all the sauces, get everything ready, and then just have a fish burger tonight. Who knows? So we'll see. Anyway, give you an idea what it looks like after an hour and a half. That's it. So you see there is still quite a lot of liquid. It's a bit wet. So yes, this is on the, it is on the fucking zoom out on the Fujifilm X-T5, which is my new favorite camera. Although I do have an S1R2 Lumix, which is even nicer. It was also, of course, 45,000 kroners. So, but that's a really good camera. I love that camera. But I'm checking out the manual functions and shit on the Fujifilms. So, anyway, this is the Fujifilm X-T5. So, it's really good. Well, bummer, I thought this might happen, but the tomato boxes, the cans, or whatever you want to call them, were too sour. They're from Greece and they're no good. They're not like rich, tomatoey Italian tomatoes. So it's very sour and it's not very nice. So I can fix that a bit, the sourness, by adding some sugar. I might add some milk to smooth it out a bit. But I'm not making lasagna tonight. I am just going to do this. I'm going to cook down, put it outside, I might make the bacamella tonight. I have to probably get more flour. Running up to the shops anyway for a few brews. So, but no. You have to have the right tomatoes if you're gonna make this stuff. So those are not the right tomatoes. They were not good, and it's still very wet. It has to cook for probably another hour. Disappointing. So that's one basic thing for the lasagna that's already halfway fucked up. So I'll put this up and then it'll be lasagna, day 2 or whatever. So, but I'll put this up just for people who are interested. You have to buy good Italian passata, or good Italian tomatoes or something. If you buy cheap shit, then it doesn't work. And this was not, whatever I tried, I tasted. It looks good. It smells good. It's not terrible, but it's not great because they're too sour. And the acidity of the tomatoes is one thing you have to look for when you buy passata or tomatoes in a can, etc. Cheap ones are usually really acid. So, what are you gonna do? Let this cook for a bit. Finish my brew. Lid up on a tinny run. Put this outside and then have a fish burger for dinner. And then make the lasagna tomorrow. And that's right, I can wait outside, that's fine. But disappointing. It's now gone down from there, almost the top, to all the way down there. But it's still too loosey juicy for me. So, anyway. Okay. So we're still cooking it down. But I have to run up to the shops, but it's still, as you can see, too wet. I need to get it thicker, but I have to turn this off soon. So I have to run up to the shops. But this has to be a little bit thicker, I think. So that's going to be it. Almost. I may have one more for. I may make the bechamel tonight. I'm not sure if it gets. If I make it tonight, it gets very thick when I make the lasagna. I might do some more cooking tonight. I'm not sure. It gets very thick and hard to spread the next morning. But I might get some more milk and flour because I need a whole lot of bechamel. I don't know if I need that much. I've got 3 milks in there. But I might need some more flour and some more. I don't need more butter, but more flour and more milk. So I might do that. I think I will, actually. Then I'm not having lasagna tonight. It's already too late. This has been going on for like 4 or 5 hours now, this stupid thing. So I'll turn that off, leave it for 15 minutes, and then put this outside, leave it to cool. It's still, well, it's not soupy, but it's very wet still, so it has to get thicker. So that has to cook down a bit more. And my uncle was saying, what? How can you spend so much food on cheese? But I only bought Italian cheese, and there's 400% import duty on Italian cheese here, like Grana Padano and mozzarella. And I said, of course I spend that. And he's like, and on cheddar? You kidding me? My uncle uses cheddar in his lasagna, so not good. He uses the cheap shit. So, yeah, if you make it ricetta di nonna, like your Italian grandmother, you're going to spend a lot of money here. So that's how it is. But at least I made the ragu tonight. I'm very disappointed in how sour the tomatoes were. They were no good. They're shit. Shit tomatoes. First price from Greece. Always buy Italian passata or qualcosa, I don't know. But that really fucked up my ragu, so I have to add some more sugar and then some milk to mellow it out a little bit. And then maybe tonight I'll make the bacchiamella. I don't think I will though, because it gets very thick and then hard to spread the next morning, and then you can't really heat it up without burning the bottom of the pan or the pot. So I'll do that when I make the actual lasagna. I think it's just the ragu for tonight. Ragu di nonna, but tomatoes were shit. So let this go 15 minutes, and then I'm heading up for a tinny run. And then and that's too bad. Another freaking fish burger. God, I'm so sick of them. But another fish burger. Looks like. Alright, catch you later. Alright, so this is pretty much done. I think that's thick enough. And that's going to be pretty good. I hope the color is right. It's pretty red. So I have to head up for a tinny run, and I have to get some if I'm going to bother with making my own pasta, I have no idea. And Belarus dude is out for the count. Seems to have disappeared, or not answering, but answered once. So we'll see. Russia shut off all of Telegram and WhatsApp and social media this week, so it could be that. It's just spreading to Belarus. But, okay, good luck, Yuri, man. I don't know. I think you're legit. I think you're not an FSB or KGB agent, so... Anyway. If you see this, there is my... ragu alla nonna. Ragu ricetta. Ragu di nonna Bresciani. Okay. Alright, so here's the deal. It's not late, it's 8:20, but I'm calling it a night. I've made my ragu alla nonna, ragu di mamma, di nonna, whatever it is. It's not very good because the tomatoes are too sour. Then tomorrow I have to make the bacchiamella, and then grate all the cheese and assemble it. But I'm not doing that tonight. Tonight I'm just having a fish burger, say burger, whatever. Too bad. But I still have to dig out the SD card from this camera, and then edit, and upload and all the rest of it. So it's going to be a 2-part video of how to make la nonna ricetta di nonna Bresciani lasagna, whatever it is. Alright, and this is again the X-T5, so cool camera, can recommend it, but maybe not buy second hand because the dials get a bit sloppy if you buy second hand and it's used a bit. So I think I would probably buy new, but there's an X-T6 coming out, who knows. So yeah, but they're really good cameras. Alright, catch you later.